Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG WTF LOL F2W BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2001, and we are booking Friday Night Smackdown in this episode. But before we get to the show, I have some things I wanted to go over with you and share with you guys real quick, as per usual. So once again, on the screen right now, we have the user email picked up, and this is another new feature in Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, where the road agents will now give us their opinions on certain wrestlers, whether that be a positive opinion or negative opinion. In this case, it was a negative opinion. The road agent, Jack Lanza, I don't know him in real life, but that's what he looks like. Apparently, he's the uncle to John Bradshaw Layfield, although it doesn't say it in the relationship note, so I might go ahead and fix that if it's true. Either way, though, Jack Lanza sent us an email letting us know that he doesn't believe Sean O'Haire doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it, and the kid can probably just be cut loose, is what he tells us. So I really like this feature, actually, and it can be positive and negative. I've seen it be positive in some things where a road agent will say, so-and-so has a bright future, or so-and-so, he's hot, you should push him now, or something like that. And then you get negative ones like we got here with Sean O'Haire. Now, I'm not going to let this affect me too much, to be honest, mainly because I look at it and I see, it says Sean O'Haire's in his rookie year, so he still has a lot to learn. I mean, this is his rookie year, so I feel like it's an unfair judgment, if you ask me. I mean, I get maybe where he's coming from since he's 30 years old, but I mean, it's still his rookie year. It's not like he's been wrestling for 5+ years or something here. Even that might not be a little justifiable. I think maybe 7 years is when maybe you can start making that judgment that they might not just be able to get this. Either way, though, I'm not firing Sean O'Haire. I'm not de-pushing him anytime soon. He's a big part of the invasion angle. So I'm sorry to say, Jack Lanza, but we're not going to abide by your opinion here. Also, something I would like... I was like, they're leaving? That's just because they're borrowed. I also would like to show you guys our owner goals. Now, I'm not going to keep these owner goals. I was originally going to do owner goals. I was planning on, keeping the owner goals on and all that stuff. And one day, I promise I will do some owner goals. Maybe in New Japan, maybe that'll help me out. I don't know, but it just seems like every time I try to do a WWE thing with owner goals, it ruins my plan somehow. And this time, the plan it ruins is over the age of 35. I'm sorry to say this, but I am going to be hiring people over the age of 35. I know it's not an average importance, but still. I'm going to take these off once we're done with SmackDown. But these would have been our owner goals if it hadn't have been for, hiring any wrestler over the age of 35. Because I won't lie. I would have hired Hulk Hogan and some other guys that most likely are over, 35. And if we're being honest with ourselves, Linda McMahon's not really the owner. I mean, I believe she was like the CEO or something like that before. I don't really remember. But Vince has always kind of been the owner of this company. And if we're being honest with ourselves even more, Linda wouldn't do this to Vince. She wouldn't say this to him. Maybe some of these other things like, we can't fall into debt, but that's basic. And maybe I can see wanting to push these, 3 guys, especially Triple H maybe. But out of the way, we're not going to keep these. Sorry, I have to clear my throat. I don't want to do it in your guys' ear. My apologies for that. Take a quick drink, I guess, as well. So either way, nerds and geeks, those were just the few things I wanted to show you. The new feature with the road agent opinions. And just to go over why I'm going to be not doing the owner goals for this playthrough. Sorry, I was taking a drink. Let's go ahead and run this show now, shall we? Enough jibber-jabber here. So as per usual, nerds and geeks, we have about 3 pre-show matches, mostly filled with WCW talent. As I've said many times already, you probably heard it enough because I'm most likely going to upload all 3 of these in the same day. But You may have heard me say this already. I'm going to be most likely putting a lot of the WCW guys on the pre-show so I can get them in action. And yeah, pretty much just get the momentum and not necessarily popularity because it will only affect them in New Jersey right now, but either way. That is why the WCW guys are going to be on pre-shows. Except for tonight. We do have a WCW wrestler on the card tonight. If you remember from Monday Night Raw, The Rock laid out a challenge, but we'll get to that. So we have a bout that had subpar wrestling and little heat. The team of Kanyon and Mike Awesome defeating Kai and Tai when Kanyon defeated Sho Funaki with the Northern Light Suplex. And they got a C-. Both Awesome and Kanyon have a ring performance of a C. And Mike Awesome is improving in technical skills. I was about to get mad at myself for not turning the dirt sheet on, but forgot that it just took me right to Smackdown. So we go to a C rating. Was the other one a C or was it a C-? I think it was a C-, but either way, we get a C rating here in a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling but not much weight in heat. Lance Storm, Sean O'Haire, and Chuck Palumbo, the WCW Tag Team Champions, defeating the team of K-Quick and the Hardy Boys, when Lance Storm defeated K-Quick with the Canadian Maple Leaf. Stacy did some good work, and we didn't get the bad rating anymore. So it would seem like, Matt, were you the best today, or you and Jeff tied? Oh, you both have a B-. Okay, I couldn't really tell. Either way, K-Quick's still the worst. Palumbo is improving in performance as well. And then our main event of the pre-show has a C match as well, and a decent pre-show match. Diamond Dallas Page defeating Farouk with the Diamond Cutter. So simple as that. So we start off the show with a B rating, not a bad way to start off the show. SmackDown opens up with The Rock making his way down to the ring. Once in the ring, he does his whole catchphrase, the normal spiel. Finally, The Rock has come back to New Jersey, or something like that, The Rock's normal little catchphrases, blah, 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 and then proceeds to start calling out Shane McMahon. He says, "Now, Shane McMahon, this past Monday on Raw, you decided to bring war into The Rock's home. So The Rock took the first shot, and then he told you. The Rock told you. SmackDown. Pick your poison. Give it to The Rock. Watch The Rock spit it down the drain and end this war. So Shane McMahon, you get your monkey ass out here, and you let The Rock's people know who you're sending into this war with him." Oh, sorry. So we go to Shane McMahon's music hits as he makes his way out to the entrance, being flanked by a bunch of WCW superstars. Those superstars, of course, being Booker T, Buff Bagwell, Kanyon, the WCW Tag Team Champions Sean O'Haire and Chuck Palumbo, and Lance Storm. Shane takes the mic and he says, "Rock, are you sure you want to do this? Because you may talk a big game, but I don't think you know what you're getting yourself into. Because I think," and then The Rock interrupts, "it doesn't matter what you think, Shane McMahon. Are you going to send The Rock someone, or are you going to back out with your tail between your legs?" So I couldn't finish the rest of it here, obviously, but Buff grabs the mic, and he says, "Shane, I'm tired of hearing The Rock's voice. I'm tired of hearing this. Let's just end this now. This past Monday, he got the jump on me. I've been dying to get my hands on The Rock. I've been dying. Let the big buff daddy get The Rock tonight." And Shane just kind of, looks at Buff Bagwell. He says, "You sure?" And Buff Bagwell's like, "Yeah, I'm sure. And then he's like, "All right. There you go, Rock. Tonight, it'll be you versus Buff Bagwell. There's your opponent." So later tonight, we will see The Rock taking on Buff Bagwell. So the announcing quality lifted the segment. That's awesome. Got the show off to a hot start. Got the crowd hotter. Rock came out looking excellent. And noticeably, Buff Bagwell, who was rated, by the way. I didn't just, not rate him. So everybody here is rated. Everybody here is not rated. That's why I did so well, if anyone's wondering. I'm choosing not to rate these guys because they don't need to be rated. They're just muscle. But Bagwell was rated on entertainment. And he did pretty well. Booker's rated on overness, and these guys were rated on entertainment. Chuck Palumbo is developing better performance skills, and Sean O'Haire is improving in acting, so that's a plus. So we go to a B- rating as both Michael Cole and Taz put over that later on tonight, we will be seeing The Rock take on Buff Bagwell. And then we go to our opening match of the night that gets a C rating, and a bout that had great wrestling and good heat. Chris Jericho defeating Kurt Angle with the... Damn it to hell. No submissions! Either way, somehow it was a submission hold. It wasn't supposed to be. That's my bad. I gotta remember to, put the freaking, what's it called? Pinfall finish and all that stuff. I always forget. I figured the game would understand. Either way, Angle lost by pinfall. Ignore that it says submission. By pinfall. After interference from Benoit. So Benoit getting a little bit of vengeance from Monday Night Raw. This time interfering in Kurt Angle's match. Ignore the whole subtle mannerisms that hint at a future face turn. If I'm being honest with you, it's mostly because of the invasion angle. That's why. Both superstars had a B+ rating, which is interesting because I believe Jericho had like an A rating before, so he must have been off his game tonight. So moving on to the next set. Is it just the angle thing? Okay. It is the angle thing. Wait. Because I was a little worried. Last time, when we did it on Monday Night Raw and it said, oh, someone's able to turn, it was Eddie Guerrero. I had a gimmick change. I totally forgot that you can do a gimmick change now and you have to handle it yourself. So that was my bad. We go to a B+ backstage rating here. As Mick Foley is backstage along, is in his office when the two-man power trip just barge in. And Triple H says, what's the big deal, Foley? And then Foley looks at him and goes, what's the big deal? I don't know. You guys tell me. You come barging to my office like that. What do you guys can't knock? Austin looks at him. Cut the crap, Mick. You set us up Monday. And Foley just goes, no, I didn't. Triple H then says, you said Taker wasn't going to be on Raw. He wasn't. Then why don't you explain how he came out after my match with Kane? Then Foley responds, look, he showed up late. What can I say? It's not my fault. And then Triple H gets a little close to him, in his face a little bit, and he says, sure it isn't. Just remember, I retired you once. I can do it again. Not again? I can do it again. Then Foley gets a little defensive and he says, oh, we're at threats now, are we? Well, let us not forget, gentlemen, that I am technically your guys' boss. And as your boss, I'm supposed to give the fans the best action they deserve. So that's why tonight, you two will defend your WWF Tag Team titles against Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys. Have a nice day, gentlemen. And then Mick Foley just walks off. So, Triple H and Stephanie have their chemistry. That's awesome. Got the crowd hotter. Triple H was a real star in this segment, and the performance of Austin was fantastic. So not a bad segment there at all. Two-man power trip is looking good. I think this is just the thing where it's hyping up that we'll later on see that tag team title match. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. That's what I'm hoping. So we go to our next match, and a decent match. Big Show defeating Billy Gunn with the chokeslam. Nothing too shabby. Gets us a C+. Just a way to get Big Show on the card, and mostly for our next segment as well. Big Show was the superior in-ring athlete as well. So after the match, Big Show just winning. He's celebrating, and he's jumped from behind by Booker T and some of the other WCW guys, being Lance Storm, Hugh Morris, Kanyon, and Mike Awesome. And they all just jump him down, beating him down to the mat, sending a message to the rest of the WWF pretty much. Then we go to a C rating, most likely going to a commercial break probably after this. Stevie Richards, along with the Right to Censor, are wandering around the hallways, of course, looking for trouble when they see Raven. And Richards says, well, look what we have here, guys. If it isn't Raven, you do know it's against FCC rules for men to wear dresses on television, correct? And then Raven goes, it's a kilt. Call it what you want, it's still against the rules. Do you know what kind of example you're giving kids? Not to mention your appearance alone, and then how violent you can be. And then Raven says, you know, you're a hypocrite. I remember back in ECW when you were my little sidekick doing all my bidding. Hell, Stevie, you'd be trying to censor yourself if this was back in ECW. And Richard says, well, that's the past, and this is the present. Raven responds, you're right, it is the present, so why don't we take a little dip back in the past? Let's travel back to the past and go back to ECW, and you can meet me in the ring tonight. And then Raven just walks off. So nothing too important here, just simple segment to kind of get our Mayhem car crash segment in there. So we then go to a C- match, and about that had decent wrestling, but didn't have much weight and heat. Raven defeating Stevie Richards with a pile driver. Jesus. Apparently, Raven was held back by the chaotic nature of the match, and the overbooking did not sit well with the crowd. Apparently, Raven did have an in-ring performance of a B- though, so that's pretty awesome. And he's also improving in performance. So I'm not mad. So we did go to a B+ rating after that. The Brothers of Destruction making their way out to the ring, probably after a commercial break. Once in the ring, The Undertaker grabs a mic and he says, you know, I've been hearing a lot of trash going around. Not X Factor. I don't know why I put them down. So ignore that said X Factor. That was my bad. So he says, I've been hearing a lot of trash going around that Triple H and Stone Cold think they're the top dogs around here. I don't know why, though. Just because they got a couple gold belts around their waist? Those belts don't mean anything if you have to sink to any means necessary to keep them. After this past Monday, my brother should be the Intercontinental Champion. Hell, we should still be the WWF Tag Team Champions if it wasn't for that skank Stephanie that follows you two around all the time. So let me tell you what's going to happen, Triple H and Stone Cold. We're going to knock you two off that pedestal you think you stand on. We're going to take those WWF Tag Team titles back. And hell, we might as well take the Intercontinental World title too. And then X Factor's music hits. Yo, you know you dealing with the X Factor. And as the trio makes their way out to the ring. And XPac says, now wait just a moment. Last time I checked, you two lost the tag titles. So that means you two are in the back of the line. And Taker says, I imagine probably X-Pac saying, like, you two are in the back of the line. It's our time to shine. And then Taker would say, oh, is that so? Well, if you two want the WWF Tag Team Championship so bad, why don't you come in this ring and why don't you prove yourselves? And then on X-Pac being the cocky guy he is, well, he's all like, all right, fine, well, we will. I'd imagine just incredible, just like, are you serious? So, Taker and Kane looked good. X-Pac did not, though. It also deserved better announcing, apparently. So moving on, we go to our brief match here. And it gets a C and a decent match. The Brothers of Destruction defeating X Factor in 5 minutes and 34 seconds when Taker defeated Credible with the Tombstone. In terms of in-ring work, The Undertaker was head and shoulders above everyone else. There you go. So the performance of The Undertaker stood out as being good. Kane had an in-ring performance of a B+. Taker with an A star. Good for him. X-Pac with a C and Justin Credible with a C-. No worker improvements. What a shame. You're not drunk or anything this time, are you, X-Pac? I'm gonna fire him, dude. High on drugs again? Oh, Taker must have beat his ass. Either way, we see Matt and Jeff Hardy. Probably, I don't know if they're walking to the ring or if they're just backstage working out with each other. Either way, they're backstage, and then out of nowhere, Sean O'Haire, Chuck Palumbo, the WCW Tag Team Champions, attacking the Hardy Boys from behind, sending even a further message. Well, I'd imagine Cole and Taz are like, what is Palumbo and O'Haire's deal with the Hardys? So we then go to a C bout, and a bout that had subpar wrestling and a little heat, interesting enough. Jacqueline defeating Molly Holly and Ivory when she defeated Molly with a pinfall. So Jackie's using subtle mannerisms to hit at a future heel turn. You'll see in a second. And Ivory was the better in-ring talent of everybody here. She got a C compared to their D+. Jackie's improving in technical and performance, and Molly Holly's improving in performance. So moving on, we go to a D rating here after winning her match. Jacqueline grabs the mic. She issues a challenge to Chyna, stating that she isn't afraid of the Ninth Wonder of the World, just like all the other women in the back are, and that she wants to be the WWF Women's Championship, and she isn't afraid to step up and take the title from Chyna. Chyna's music then plays as she makes her way out. She holds up the title while Jackie just, tells her to bring it, pretty much. Bring it. I thought I made a feud between this, but I guess not. So we then go to our WCW versus WWF match, the first one in the war. It's a C+ rating in a good match. The Rock defeating Buff Bagwell in 10 minutes and 21 seconds. This says it was a good match, but with The Rock in there, this should have been a B. So Buff, you definitely affect a lot of things. So The Rock, well, it was a storytelling match as well, I believe. The Rock had an in-ring performance of an A star, so him and The Undertaker. Very, very good. Bagwell with a C. Very, very embarrassing. Does it tell me if I, no, it doesn't, does it? Maybe Road Agent notes? Yeah, right there. So it was a storytelling match, so maybe. And then became pretty, oh my god. Fucking XPac and then Buff Bagwell. Soon became pretty clear that Buff Bagwell was wasted on drugs, and it really affected his performance. You asshole. So we then go to a B+ rating after just winning his match. Shane McMahon, along with a gang of WCW guys, rush into the ring. That gang being Booker T, Kanyon, and Lance Storm. They rush in the ring and they start beating down on the Great One until both Big Show and Chris Jericho rush down to the ring to chase off the WCW guys, saving The Rock from Shane and company as they once again make their way through the crowd. So apparently both Taz and Cole's announcing was pretty weak. But that was mostly the only negative there, I guess. Got a B+. And then we go to an A rating. This is afterwards. Wow, an A rating. Hell yeah, that's excellent. So Vince McMahon, along with William Regal, they're walking towards the doctor's office to check on The Rock. Jericho and Big Show are also in there checking on him. When they're in there, of course, Vince looks at the doctor and he asks how The Rock is doing. And then after he tells him, he says, oh, he's doing fine, blah, blah, just a little beat up. Then he looks at both Chris and Big Show and he says, thank you for the assistance, being there for the WWF. And I'd imagine, Jericho and Show saying, whatever, yeah, of course, blah, 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 I don't know, saying something. This is mostly about Vince and Regal, because as they walk out, Regal, I'd imagine while they were, Vince was thanking Jericho and Show, maybe Regal was giving Jericho some dirty looks here and there, but as they walk out, Regal says, I don't trust Jericho, sir. And then Vince says, Jericho? But why? And Regal says, sir, I have a feeling that he's playing us. What are you saying? I think Jericho is playing us for the other side. I think he's planning on defecting back over to WCW. You think that? Well, he is a former WC talent, sir. And then Vince responds, well, yeah, but by that logic, both you and Big Show could turn over to WCW. I wouldn't read much into it, Regal. Jericho and Show came to the aid of WWF tonight. And you've got history with Chris. Don't let your past cloud your judgment, Mr. Regal. And I'd imagine Regal, of course, saying, of course, sir, as they just continue to walk off. So this got an A rating. Hell yeah. Of course, Michael Cole not doing too good here at commentary. Regal underperformed as well, unfortunately, but it did help his storyline with Jericho. And then we move on to our main event. What? Why did this get a C+? I'm not gonna lie. That surprises me. A C+? Oh, I made it a car crash. Why? Idiot. And about that, great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The two-man power trip defeating Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys, because, the Hardys were attacked earlier, so they were taken out of the match. Oh, it was an elimination match? Ugh. I hate elimination matches. God fucking A. Christian's still not suited for his gimmick, unfortunately. But it's too soon to change it. Christian and Edge have an excellent chemistry, as well as Bubba and Devon. Deserved better announcing, got the crowd buzzing. Austin with an in-ring performance of an A, or A star. Triple H with an A, Edge with an A. Holy shit. Christian with a B+, Devon with a B. Good rings. This match should have been better. I should not have made it a car crash. We lost popularity. Yep. I knew we did. Damn it. Lance Storm was slightly overused. The show increased our popularity in 10 regions, but all in all, lost our popularity in 19 regions. Alright. Learned our lesson with some of those things there. So Bret Hart speaks out. What the hell? The recently retired Bret Hart gave an interview in the Calgary Sun, which was printed today. In the article, the Hitman states that he was poorly used by WCW, describing his tenure there as really sad. Hart and the company mutually agreed on a release from his 3-year WCW contract in October. 2 months prior to the conclusion, Vince McMahon has claimed that WCW had no idea what to do with Hart, which McMahon said was fortunate for me in terms of my company and unfortunate for Bret personally. Yeah, I guess so. Look at this, New Japan getting some broadcasting deals here. Oh, I was like, what? Jeez, dude, New Japan. Look at all this. That's all New Japan. Yeah, look at this. Heating them were like, yeah, it was alright. Rhino was reported to sustain a pull hamstring while wrestling. And reports sketchy, but it will be taking time off through the pain. He will not be taking, well, I'm not going to be using him. So, The Undertaker was very unhappy that XPac was clearly high during their match on WWF Smackdown. And Kane was very unhappy that XPac was clearly high, and I'm assuming so was Just Incredible. Sean Waltman, I can't fire him because he's got a strong friendship with so many freaking people. I don't know what to do. So also, The Rock was clearly very unhappy that Buff Bagwell was clearly wasted on drugs during their match. So apparently, China. What you appeared? That's it. Who the hell are you? Oh, Ivory. So a lot of people apparently need time to heal. Apparently, or whatever. I gotta figure out how to. Yeah, I gotta change this drug test thing because I don't need them to happen every freaking show. So here's something interesting. We have opinions from Buff Bagwell and The Rock. Oh boy. So Buff Bagwell. Why would I take your fucking opinion on anything, Buff? Hugh Morris doesn't connect with the fans. You should probably write him off. Got it. Oh, see? So this was a negative one. Here's our first positive one, nerds and geeks. The Rock says Chuck Palumbo is charismatic. I can see him doing well in the future. So The Rock's got a high opinion on Chuck Palumbo here. That's pretty good. Hey, that's a pretty good. Buff Bagwell does not have a good opinion on Hugh Morris, which is Bill DeMott. Neither do I, but oh, look at this. Oh my lord. Contract negotiations with Ken Anderson. Let's send you to NWA Wildside because we have not sent anyone there yet. Okay. Incident involving Sean Waltman. So XPac has been identified as a hard drug user by the drug testing policy. As the drug testing is done in-house, the press have not gotten a hold of the story, so there's currently no potential. Nope. We're sending you to rehab. I don't even care about this feud anymore, nerds and geeks. I don't care about the Jerry Lynn feud. I don't care about any of it. X-Pac is gone right now. There's 2 shows in a row that he was high on drugs. Go to rehab. X-Pac is left for rehab. X-Pac has improved his behavior as a result of your handling of the incident. Yep. X-Pac is very How are you at your... Whatever. Triple H is very unhappy with my decision. Don't care. Jerry Lynn is unhappy. Stephanie's very unhappy. I don't care. That's your guys' fault. Look how many people are mad at me now, probably. Big morale issue? Don't care. Sorry. Don't care, dude. In fact, titles. Wish I would have never done it. We're going to vacate this championship. Yep. Title has been vacated. See, I don't like how it doesn't say vacated after it. Like, it should say right here, vacated. We're vacating that championship. We're ending this feud. And that's that. So we also have an incident involving Jeff. Oh boy. Okay, so Jeff Hardy has been identified as a soft drug user by the WWF drug testing, as the drug testing is done in-house. No potential damage for the company. So this one's a little different. XPac was hard drugs, which means, yes, you need to go to rehab. This one is soft drugs. I'm not sending him to rehab. In fact, you just get a fine. That's all that happens. We're still waiting for Cena and Tracy Brooks. But before we end this off, I want to go to the creative meeting, and let's go ahead and look at our hidden gems. Since we've hired... Yeah, we hired Mr. Anderson. Let's go ahead and hire Colt Cabana then. Let's do the developmental deal. And let's see how much we can get him to go. Let's see if we can get him for $1,500. No bonuses. I don't know why you would think you would get that. But we'll hire Colt Cabana. And there we go. The offer isn't attractive enough. Okay, $1,560. We can do that. And there you go. Colt Cabana. Coming over to the WWF, probably. And I'm going to take that off screen, so there's no big deal. So, oh boy. First week of WWF, and we've already sent 3 people to rehab. A lot of people have irritated me. Like XPac, for one, who we just sent to rehab. Buff Bagwell's another person. Triple H is not happy with us. Look at this. Angry at our handling of an incident involving XPac. Well, you would think they would be happy, if I'm being honest. I mean, that's their friend. That is their friend. And you would think that they'd be like, oh, okay. Bye, XPac. You know, hopefully you get better. But no. They're not happy. They're mad because I sent their friend to rehab when he should be freaking fired. I'm done, Nursing Geeks. I'll see you guys for the next episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor. Leave me a comment, like, and subscribe. As always, my name is OMGWTF, LOL at TWBRB. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.